Hello, welcome to This Is Mads World. Today I'm going to talk about my biggest failure. Today I'm going to talk about my biggest failure to date. It's not funny. Okay, so the motto here at This Is a Man's World is "She who dares wins." Yeah, that's right, you can grab this t-shirt over on the website. Ha! Seamless plug. But she who dares does not always win. Actually, sometimes he who dares fails. But for me, failure is all part of the winning process. Ha! See how I swung it around there. So let's talk about my biggest failure. It was 2 years ago. And it was my first ever job moving from an engineer into project management. I had a small little extension that I was building on the side of a garage, petrol station, gas station for any American watchers, and it was a tiny little project, and I thought, you know what, I can do this, I've got it, it's a small team to manage, I basically know how you put together a building, what could go wrong? Well, turns out a lot can go wrong. I was managing the project, we started building the foundations, the steel work went in great, and then on a Friday this happened. It was around about 12 o'clock and we were ready for the concrete pour that was coming in at 2 o'clock. I made sure all the steel was right, that we had all the wood in place ready to hold back the concrete, that everything basically was in place for the flooring. As an engineer, you panic about concrete pours because you want to make sure everything is right with levels, that you've got all the material in there that you need, all the steel's right, because basically if you pour concrete and then you have to break it out, it's going to cost a lot of money, and with construction the profits are so tight that breaking out concrete could basically wipe out the profit of a job, especially on a tiny job such as the one I was working at. Anyway, everything was fine. I got 2 guys ready to lay the concrete with me, and it was a Friday afternoon, so we were going to just smash it in and then get home, get going. It was winter. I need to explain that because this will give you an idea as to why shit went downhill. So basically the brick wall was built, the concrete came in, it was a very wet concrete, and the idea was that this new concrete poured in and kind of self-leveled and needed minimum work. Yeah, oh, the irony. So concrete came in at 2 o'clock, lads started pouring, I went off to relax in the cabin, knowing everything was completely underhand to finish off some paperwork, get ready to go home. I had barely undone my shoelaces when one of the guys came running in and was like, Michelle, you need to come now, the brick wall's falling down, the concrete is spewing all into the dual carriageway in the middle of a city. I just laughed. I was like, ha ha ha, this is like a joke. Yes, I've been the butt of many jokes, this is hilarious, but not on a Friday afternoon. And then I glanced out the window and I realised it wasn't a joke, and in fact the brick wall had fallen down and the concrete was spewing into the city centre, into the dual carriageway where there were cars, pedestrians. Yep, that's pretty much how I reacted. Now, if you know anything about concrete, you'll know that it is really dangerous when it touches the skin. It should never get into any drainage systems because, well, it's just catastrophic. So I ran outside as fast as I could, and we managed to block up the wall where the concrete was spilling out and stop some of the flow. But because it was so liquid, it just, oh my god, it was like a waterfall. And then the 2 guys that I had with me, bless them, really nice guys, but they were over 65, quite large, and we obviously couldn't put a digger out on the pavement. Wait a second, this photo evidence would show otherwise. So I had to stop any pedestrians, and then we had to basically shovel as quick as we can the concrete back onto the area where it should have been. I have never shoveled so quickly in all my life. These guys were struggling, and you know, I don't know where the power came from, the superhuman ability in the sheer panic mode that I was in, but we just chucked the concrete back on. It was a mess. The floor looked terrible. The brick wall was down, but we managed to contain the concrete so that it stopped going on down the drainage system, which would have been ridiculously bad. We cleaned up the area, and I was left with this mess. It was a complete and utter disaster, and it had to be on my first ever job, didn't it? So then I phoned management and let them know, and actually it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. They just said, leave it, come back Monday and we'll sort it. I didn't get the sack, and we did sort it on Monday. You know, there were costs involved, but man, what a failure. It's like Chinese wall falling down. So yeah, I just wanted to say, for anyone out there that's kind of scared of failing when they first go out on jobs, don't be, because I made a massive boo-boo and I still kept my job, and hey, I learned from it. So that's the most important thing, is learn from your failures, I guess. There you go. As embarrassing as it is, I shared with you one of my biggest failures. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to be back real soon. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and if you've got any questions about walls, concrete, whatever, you can leave them below.